Good evening.
Good
Welcome back.
evening, everybody.
I'm John.
And I'm John.
And this is BQuest Intuitive Guidance.
Live Q&A.
Live Q&A or live guidance. So intuitive guidance is basically helping you to understand all the symbolic and situations, events, health issues that are happening in your life. Most of it is messages from the soul, messages from wherever. And, this is helping you to interpret what the messages are from your life circumstances and helping you to heal or clear situations a lot faster by recognizing what the emotional or energetic content of it is. And it often, when you recognize that and work with that, can make things change and happen a lot quicker in your life. Healing can happen almost instantaneously.
Yeah, you start to actually see a change in your outer world, right?
Yes.
As you start to change things in the inner world.
And once you deal with it, often even physical healing can happen almost instantly. So, so if anyone wants to come on live, we've got a couple of people up already. So hi guys.
Hey guys, Angela and Amy.
Yeah. So if you've got any questions, any situations coming up, the intuition is like tuition means to be taught, and you're being taught from inside, from your own intuition, from your gut, from whatever you want to call it, from your inner guru, as we call it.
That's what we call your inner guru.
So and the basis of all of it is if something feels light, it's true or it's right, and if it feels heavy, then it's not true or it's not right. And so this is how we guide everything. And then we've got other tools, listening to certain types of wording and that, seeing how we're blocking situations in our life, or basically most of it is just reading what our situations are telling us, pains, issues. We can deal with it from meridians, we can deal with chakras, entities, all sorts of things. But most of the time, it's just your inner guidance is trying to point you to what you need to correct your point of view on. So there's never any problems in the real world. We call it the real. The duality world, the right and wrong world, that is still real, but it's not the real. It's real because we created it as real. But ultimately, when you're connected with spirit, when you're in oneness, there is no problems and there is no issues. So anywhere where there feels like there's pains or there's problems or there's issues, it's really your soul, your Christ self, if you want to call it that, trying to talk to you, trying to point you to change your point of view, to change the way you're seeing things.
We like to ask that you be as descriptive as you can when you're asking questions. Use your own words, and describe how certain things annoy you or how it actually feels to you.
So if it's a physical pain or injury or something, describe where it is and how it feels, and using your words. Just let yourself say it like you would say it to anyone else.
And
because there's keys in those words that we use.
It helps to know whether it's left side, right side, front, back, and sort of it really is descriptive as you can. Like if it's my my pointer finger on my right hand on the tip of my right finger, that kind of thing.
I keep cutting the tip of my finger, or keep hitting my knee, something like that. So it's usually better to work in the early days. It's better to work with repetitive stuff. As your consciousness and awareness increases, you start to get to the point where nearly everything is a message, but that's too much to deal with. So, and it's too short on here for us to sort of go into those ones. So this is for this medium for us here. It's much more the repetitive stuff, the stuff that keeps reoccurring. So it's issues with people, everything that we see, we call it, if you see it, it's in you. So things that annoy us are in us, but they're usually in us in a different way. If lazy people annoy you, then, you've got some laziness in you, but you might not be lazy outside. You might be lazy inside with your listening to your feelings or following through on some of your things you want to do. So it's not usually in the same area, but it is in you somewhere. So
Amy, if you can maybe describe a little bit more about what's happening in your work life or your love life that you would like us to work with. What's the problems with it basically? How's it annoying you, or how's it making you feel? We don't generally do sort of open-ended
we don't
questions
do sort of more
readings
and
or
stuff
messages or anything like that.
This is more intuitive guidance. We want the people to be able to work with it themselves and be able to catch with it. So we help you to work with it. We point you to what you can clear. So we need your words and we need your description to help us do that. So a bit more detail and specific. how it's affecting you, what's wrong with it, things like that.
Yeah.
So the general readings and that we on this medium, we don't really do that. This is not what we've set this live up for, but we certainly can do that in private readings and stuff like that. But again, I would still ask you questions back. And if anyone wants to come on live, it is really much easier.
It's much more fun.
So the live link is at the top there. If you can come on,
click on the Zoom link.
Yeah. And you can come on and have a chat with us. You can come on with video or just audio. It's up to you.
It's up to you.
But yeah, come on and have a chat, and then we can really explore and get deep into it, find out what the blockages are. And because your wording and your description really gives us some really major clues into seeing what's blocking it or what's causing it to reoccur.
One from Angela. Hi guys, I've been seeing lots of 222s and 555s. I believe I'm coming into my right path after my sinus surgery. What's our thoughts?
Well, because it's generally with the numbers, I've done quite a bit on numerology, and generally with the numbers, I only pay attention to the individual meaning of the numbers if it's just the same number all the time. If it was just 222 all the time, I would say look at 2, which is about balance, which is about creativity and stuff like that. But because it's different numbers, I usually just say accept it as synchronicity.
Yeah,
it's the universe.
Kind of feels more like synchronicity.
It's the universe telling you you're on a good path and you're in alignment with your synchronicity. You're being synchronistic with your divine path or your your higher path. It's just there to go, yep, you're on the right track. So when you see all different numbers repetitive, it's much more, don't delve into it too much, because otherwise you can sort of get off track by doing that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Amy's come back with a bit more. Awesome. Thank you, Amy. I have a business deal that has been on offer more than 3 times. I'm finally ready to move forward and go ahead with the deal, which means the sale of my business, but for some reason there's a delay, ... always a delay.
So okay. So
you nail on the head.
Nail on the head. So one of the things we have is what we call filters, which are fixed words we use. So the subconscious mind listens to everything that we say internally, that we feel internally, that we have emotions about. So when you say it, always
a delay,
the subconscious mind picks that up and starts creating that in your life and puts blockages there to prove what you're saying to yourself. So you start saying it seems like there's always a delay. And usually the universe is working, or always the universe is working in our favor. So often the delay is actually to an advantage. We just can't see it, or we're annoyed, or the delay is that you're not aligned with what you want. So energetically, so law of attraction requires 2 things. One is that you ask for what you want, and the other is that you actually vibrate at the frequency of what you want to receive it. So you've actually got to be that change. You've got to be in that frequency already to make it come faster. So maybe think about what you want in the business and how it will make you feel, and try and get into that feeling. So when if it got through and everything else, ask yourself, how would I feel once it's all done? So people like often say about money, when I get the money, then I'll relax and then I'll be happy, right? And it never works, because even if they get the money, then they're relaxed or happy for a little while, and they'll go back to the old way they were. But if you can relax and be happy before you get the money, then it'll often come quicker. And if it goes away again, it doesn't take the happiness and the joy away. So you've really got to align with the frequency of how you're going to feel once that it's all through. So maybe remind yourself 5 or 6 times a day, go, so if this was all done now, I'd have a bigger smile on my face. I'd be relaxed. You can do that straight away now. You can chill out more. You can relax more. Whatever it is that you think the results are going to be, try and remind yourself just to get into that frequency, get into that feeling, because you can create a feeling without the circumstances. So I'll be happier. I'll have a smile on my face. So just put a smile on your face 5 or 6 times a day. Think and feel. Get into the feeling of how it'll be. And that will bring it closer. Also, you really got to accept that sometimes the delays are on purpose, because there's something else that's got to marry up, or there's a better offer. So, and by getting into the feelings of it, you'll often go, okay, so, that makes me feel like this. It may actually open another door that'll actually match that's completely different, a different business offer.
And by telling yourself that it looks the same as previously, that there's always a delay, you don't leave any opportunity for spirit to bring you anything else. Right?
So you've told the universe there's always a delay, and the subconscious mind picks that up, and it creates delays in there by blockages by leading you down that path. That's what the intuition, the soul, it picks up everything. So when we joke, I'm going to end up in the poorhouse, and we're only joking about it. But eventually, if we joke about that for long enough, we end up in the poorhouse, right? It's like, because the subconscious mind doesn't know that we're joking. And if we're joking and we add emotion to it, then the law of attraction works way much faster. So just think about what you want, the result you want, and try and get into that feeling of that as many times as you can. And also change, it seems like there's always a delay. And maybe this delay, and just say these words to yourself a couple of times. It seems like there's always delays. It seems like I'm always being blocked, but maybe it's happening for a good reason if it's true. And that will start to clear the filters, as we call them.
Yeah. She's saying like, I finally said what I want. I can feel it coming.
Yep.
I'm doing that. Okay, 100%. So if you find yourself saying, "Oh, there's always a delay," or it looks the same, just say it seems like there's a delay. Maybe there isn't. Maybe this is spirit's way of bringing me something better.
Be careful not to go the other side and say, "Oh, there's no delays," because you don't believe that. Right? So you still got to honor where you feel and say, "Seems like there's always delays. Maybe there's always delays, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure." And maybe the delays are working in my favor. Maybe I need to get more ready and get the feeling of it beforehand, so then the feeling is not tied into the results or the circumstances.
Kylie Kelly, I've been bullied at work and it's been depressing me a bit. Can you see me getting moved to days instead of nights?
So the bullying at work.
Can you just maybe unpack that a little bit?
Unpack that a little bit, because you're creating that usually when we want to change something, we either align and agree with things or resist and react. So if we want people who fight against war, bring more attention to war. Energy goes where thought flows. So if you're trying to stop the bullying, if you're trying to stop the pressure, you're actually putting thoughts into the bullying, right? So don't think about the bullying or stopping the bullying. Think about everything flowing well for you and it happening your way for you, and just start to focus. We call it focusing on what you do want. It's one of our tools. Tool number 4. And it's like, so when we focus on the fact of trying to stop something from happening, we're putting the energy in the universe just sees the picture of the bullying, right? So what's the opposite to bullying to you? It's like cooperation, co-creation. Think of co-creating and harmony instead of thinking of bullying.
Being at ease at work, having joyful days.
And, where at work, it's a win-win situation, we call it, right? So just start focusing on that. So every time you feel like you're being bullied, just don't resist that. Just turn it around. Go, okay, so what's the opposite of being bullied? The opposite of being bullied or pushed around is where it's flowing. Where you got to find your words for it. That you think the opposite of what the feeling is, that you're being bullied or you're being pushed around or pressured. So when that's what you don't want. So what you do want is the opposite of that. So think about what the opposite is. So, okay, I want it to flow smoothly. I want it to work easily. I want it to sort of be a win-win situation where they feel better and I feel better. And just by focusing on that a few times, it can really change very quickly. And it's like, focus on what you do want, which is, for it to, work for you and your timing and be easier for you on a timing level, and focus on that.
The potential for days feels like it's there.
It's definitely there, and it definitely can happen really quick. I got the feeling of it. It can happen really quick if you do this. Focus on what you do want. So every time you feel like, it's not working or this and that, you just go, okay, so what do I want? I want it to flow easily. I want it to work out so that the time works for me and it works better for my life, and it's a win-win for everybody. Just each time you feel that energy come up, that's what I don't want. What do I want? You want the opposite of that. So however you describe the opposite, focus on that feeling, and doors just open. Things move out of the way for it to happen when you do that.
Okay, Carla, how are you able to receive clear messages? I have spirits giving messages, but I never know whether I should tell people or not.
Well, clear messages really very rarely exist, right? Because as you do get better at it, and as they do get clearer, it feels like you're not hearing them anymore. So it's like a paradox, so that, I've got to check sometimes if I'm being guided by the masters or not, because I do it so much that I just think it's me, and I've actually got to ask again and use. So one of the feelings is, if it feels light, this is our tool number 1, listening to your inner guru. So if you get a message and it feels light, just feel, does that feel light? Does that feel expansive? Does that feel easy? And it's really difficult, because when it feels light and easy, it almost feels like nothing. But if it feels heavy, if there's a heaviness or like feeling to it, then the message is not for you to give. It's just for you to hear. So some messages are just for us to hear so we can see how everything works. And some messages we are supposed to pass on. And if it is something you're supposed to pass on, it'll come back. Just so let it go. If it comes back 3, 4, 5 times and it doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel like an effort, then that's when you know it's clear, and that's when you know you should give it.
Yeah. Sometimes what I do is I'll acknowledge that I've received a message, and if it doesn't feel right, like as John says, if you feel into it and it feels a little bit heavy, then I'll just go, okay, I'll give myself permission to just see if it comes up again.
Yeah.
Right. And see how it goes.
Or the other way is to ask for another sign.
Or ask for another sign.
If you want, exactly. It's like, so okay, if you really want me to say this, give me another sign. And as soon as you say that, really pay attention. Yeah. It could be an ad on the TV. It could be a word that somebody else is speaking around you. Something will align and say something similar to that. And it literally pops up instantly. It could be that, I got it from I was asking for a sign. I said, if this is what I'm supposed to do, give me a sign. And it was actually something I got out of the freezer, and I read the label on it. And it was actually in the label. I'm like, oh, there it is. It's completely obvious, right?
Yeah.
So whenever you ask for a sign or confirmation, just pay attention to what's, it could be an animal. If you're into animals and sort of, what do you call it? Animal symbology or whatever, it could be that. You might see a bird fly past. It was, for me, I used to have crows a lot. It was one of my animal medicines. And when I'd be thinking about something, a crow would fly over and it would fly straight forward past me. That meant, yes, do it. And if it flew against where I was going, it meant, no, don't do it. If it flew more to the left, to say, think more spiritually or more intuitively. If it flew towards the right, it'd be like, think more physically or logically. So if you've got an affinity with any other sort of mediums of reading, pay attention to that.
Okay. We don't just do any guidance.
Yeah. So we don't just do general guidance. This is intuitive guidance by using your intuition, getting your description, helping you to see it. Because once you see it and you either change the wording or acknowledge where you're doing it, that's when the things change quite miraculously. And that empowers you and empowers the person to start working with their intuition themselves.
Yeah.
Because your intuition, if it's light, it's right. If it's heavy, it's a lie. If it feels light and expansive, then it's true and it's right.
Yeah.
And if it feels heavy, then it's a lie. And if it feels like nothing, like sometimes light can feel like nothing, but you still feel lighter. You look at your face, it'll expand, or you look at your shoulders, they'll sit back, or you look at your posture, it'll sit up a bit. That's a yes. That's a go for it. Sometimes when we don't ask the right question or the question's too broad, we get a yes and a no. So it feels heavy and light. It feels both.
Yeah.
So we've got to break the question down into 2 parts, not 1 part.
Yeah.
So this is what intuitive guidance is about. This is how everyone's intuition is talking to them 24/7. And these messages are coming out. It's trying to point us in the direction to change the way we see things or the way we deal with things.
Okay, Angela, I think we're circling back to when we spoke to Angela the other week, when we talked about what we disliked, and I said people who complain about everything. She says, I believe it annoys me as I am jealous. As my life is so crazy, I wish they were my only stresses.
So
as my life is so crazy, I wish they were my only stresses.
So if you believe you're jealous, right, sometimes the jealousy is actually other people's that are picking up. This is our, Are They My Feels tool, which is on YouTube. If anyone wants to look at our tools on YouTube, the link's at the top. So sometimes you're picking up everyone else's jealousy around you, like you don't feel like you get, but they feel like you get everything easy or it's intuitive for you. So it's actually other people's jealousy because, but then we feel that jealous feeling and we think we're jealous. But if you are jealous, start turning that around by saying congratulations. This is one of our other tools that we use. Is like, so if we see someone that's got something that we want, we go congratulations to them, and we don't analyze. So if say it's money, or we started this with not fancy cars, right?
Yeah.
And we just go, even if it looked like they got it for greed or whatever else, we just say congratulations, you've got what you wanted. And so by saying that opens the law of attraction up to you getting it faster. And so by congratulating anyone who's got what you want, but it has to be genuine congratulations. You have to find a way to make it genuine from the heart. So, okay, how do I really congratulate that person. Don't analyze how you think they got it or how you think you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Just congratulations. You know, that part of your life is working. You've got the money or you've got the relationship or whatever. Congratulations for anyone you see that you think's got a good relationship. If it's a relationship you're after, just say congratulations. Good for you. You know, and then that opens the universe up to you energetically. That opens you up to say, where's mine? But if you're jealous, then you're pushing it away. If you are putting any jealous feelings out there, if you're putting any resentment feelings out there, these negative emotions, any emotion below courage is basically a negative emotion. It's a fear emotion, and that's going to push whatever you want away. So it's just working out, asking spirit. If you can't genuinely say congratulations, ask put your hand on your heart and say, look, I really want to genuinely congratulate anyone who's got what I want. Show me how to do it. Help me how to do it. It's the same as the forgiveness. You know, I really want to forgive this person, but I can't feel it. Show me, assist me in forgiving. You know, so, and these emotions do hold these things away from us. And it's like, and it's probably wasn't even yours to begin with. It was probably all this other jealousies around you that's built up over time. And then you start thinking you're jealous and you start functioning from that place.
Yeah. So Carla, who we're just talking to about messages, she says, I've always been told to try to control the messages, but it just comes.
Yeah, but it's not control the messages. It's control yourself of when you share them and when you don't share them. You can't control the messages, and you shouldn't control the messages. We're receiving them nonstop, 24/7.
Yeah,
you know, once you get up to a certain, you cannot stop the messages. What you're trying to change is change the fact of needing to tell everyone. You know, check whether it's something you need to share, or a lot of the messages are just for you to hear, to show you how spirit works, to show you how the universe works. And, you know, if you share it, often we'll share it with people when we're not supposed to, and actually hinder their path and also our own by, you know, buying us back into karma or whatever.
Yeah.
Stop trying to fix everyone and check. So, okay, yep, the messages come consistently, but most of them, or at least half of them, are just for me to see. Yeah. And then you sit back and you wait and you see where that went and you go, yeah, okay, that was true.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't try and to control the messages a little bit. There is messages that come from the lower realms, from the etheric plane, and the only way you can do that is by feeling if it's light or heavy. You know, if it's like, if it feels like there's some forcefulness there or some sort of righteousness or something else, then you know it's probably a message from the lower realms. And this is why we choose the number one tool. Does it feel light? Does it feel expansive? And if you can't feel it, watch your posture when you think about it. Does your head lift up a bit? Do your shoulders sit back? Do you sit up and relax? You know, it's like, and you can see it with other, you can watch that in other people. When they're talking, when it's a truth, they will sit up, they'll expand. That's the body will expand with the energy. So,
and we do paid readings, Carla. I've just posted a link to our book now on our website if you want to drop a message there.
And the three people that I've already contacted about the free readings from last week, I'll be emailing you in the morning if you're on here. So don't worry, they're still coming. Just had a busy week. So we'll contact with you tomorrow. So yeah, if anyone wants to come on live now and have a little chat and talk through it, we can pick up filters, we can pick up blockages just by listening to your words. You know, so the subconscious mind picks up every thought, every feeling, and every emotion. And if we can joke ourselves into really bad situations unintentionally. You know, it's like
we found out.
Yeah, found that one out the hard way. Because the subconscious mind doesn't understand the difference between, it's like a video recorder.
Yeah.
It picks up every word and then it takes it as literal and makes that a command. And then that command comes through the soul, through the lower three chakras and starts playing out. So, you know, so it's a good reason not to talk negative and to try and get rid of most of your negative emotions.
Okay, back up to Philippa. Any advice for an exhausted empath? How they might feel.
Yeah, tool number 4. Tool number 3 on our YouTube site is called "Are They My Feels?"
There are some links at the top of the live to our YouTube channel, and the tools link I think is in there if you want to go there and check out this tool number 3.
Yeah. So look, first of all, see the empath thing as a blessing, as a good thing, not as a bad thing. But really, you've got to return what we call return to sender, or that's not my problem. So every thought, feeling, and emotion that you pick up, just check. Say, is that mine? Does that belong to me? And if it gets a little bit less intense, it gets a little bit less strong, then it's not yours. And if you are an empath, like most people on here are, you're going to have you might find 99% of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions aren't yours. So you're picking up everyone's, and then you just go, okay, return to sender or go away. You can use a hand motion. Yeah, that's not mine. Go away, and repeat it 4 or 5 times. If it's like, if you're feeling, you can do it with hunger. You can go, oh, I feel hungry, and then go, is that mine? And if I get a little bit less hungry, I go away or return to sender or whatever. And then repeat it 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, and it can. It's better to sort of say, there's a feeling of hunger there or a feeling of anger there, rather than, oh, I'm angry. Is that my, am I angry?
Yeah.
Then you're sort of identifying it as yours without really checking.
Yeah, and the other primary thing for empaths is, part of with being an empath is we really want to help people and fix people, and it's like that's the problem. They're constantly wanting to help people and fix people because you feel you don't want people to be in that situation. So when we're empathic, sometimes we just got to let people go through what they got to go through, and don't try and fix them, don't try and help them. And if we do feel a need to help, make sure they do their half. I call it qualifying them. So if you feel like they want help, first of all, check with them, because unsolicited advice or unsolicited help, it can be as detrimental as no help at all. So it's like, make sure they actually genuinely want your help, or they genuinely want your advice. Otherwise, just go, okay, return to sender. That's not my problem, not my problem, not mine to deal with. And it's like, empath is a really positive thing once you learn how to really start to work with it positively. But the real tool is to go, is that mine?
Is that mine?
Does that belong to me? Is that hunger mine? And it's every thought, feeling, and emotion, all of them. And when you start doing it, it took me, like when I did this really full on, it took me 3 months to find one feeling that was mine. I thought I was like dead for a while, it's like, and it's like I found one, and now it's like, but then if you do find one and it gets heavier and it gets more intense, then you got to clear that anyway. So because really we should be just mostly in the flow all the time anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I used to get it even with tiredness, right? I'd be at work in a meeting and I'd suddenly start to feel tired, and I'd be like, oh, I've got a feeling of tiredness. I'd just say, body, are you tired? It's like, no. All right. Thanks. Goodbye.
That's the other one.
And then you just go, oh, you're straight back awake again. You
can say, body. You can talk to the body and say, are you tired or are you hungry? And it's like, no, and it'll get less intense, or it'll get less tired, and you go, okay, go away, or that's not mine to deal with. You've got to find the right words that work for you. Return to sender, not mine to deal with, not my problem. Not my problem's the one I use lately. And so you can pick up so many things, and you start doing that, and really very quickly you'll start getting some space around you. And
it's incredible.
Then the tiredness will go. I mean, the exhaustion will start to go away really quickly. But don't think the other real primary one, don't think you need to help everyone or fix anyone. It's like, and if they want your help, make them work for it. Make them do that, what I call qualify them. So, if you want me to help you, you go and do fucking, 10 minutes of meditation every morning, and you show me that you're doing it for 3 days, then I'll help you. And that way you'll see if they're genuinely wanting your help, or they just want you to do it for them.
Okay. Carl, a little bit random, but where's your necklace from? I'm very drawn to it.
This is out at Dalesford.
Dalesford
out in Victoria. It's this little healing community there. It's a tiger eye one, but it's in 3 parts. So one of the things we talk about is the Threefold Flame, which is thoughts, words, and actions. It can be wisdom, power, and love. And that's the soul, the divine masculine, divine feminine. And when those 3 integrate, the divine masculine, divine feminine, and the soul, and they come together in the heart of heart, in the sacred heart, then that's when we become fully enlightened. And so learning how to use it, you can use the serenity prayer and say, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, which is the love, which is the lower 3 chakras or the soul. Grant me the courage to change the things I can, which is the divine masculine or the heart. Or grant me the wisdom to know the difference, which is the upper 3 chakras or the divine feminine. So when those three as one, so there's 3 parts, they join together, and the 3 flames twist together, and they anchor into the heart of hearts, or the sacred heart, the holy heart.
The holy of hearts.
Yeah, the holy of heart. It's like, then that just starts to expand, and that's you wouldn't be listening to us if that was me. Tell me how to do that. I'm still working on it.
Angel says, love chatting with you guys. She calls us the thought-provoking soul gurus. Nice. I love that. Thank you, Angela.
So yeah, if anyone wants to come on live and have a little chat, we can really
come on,
dig into some filters. I know we haven't
had, come on.
I know it's a bit confronting, but you can just come on with audio. But it's fun, you know. It's like
you can wear your pajamas, you can have your cup of tea.
You can turn your video off and just put the audio on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really helps, you know, with the feedback and talking to you and listening to some of your words, your keywords and stuff like that. Really helped to really unlock some stuff that really has been blocking people, you know, what annoys you, what animates you, things that annoy us are in us, you know. If we're worried about bullying, then, you know, maybe our head's bullying our heart, right? Or our heart's bullying our emotions or something like that. So
yeah, so Carla sort of you know, she says she thinks it's the hardest part. If you see people struggle, you want to change the world, you know, make everyone feel loved or not. You know, you can also look at what is annoying you about that.
Yeah.
You know,
so also look at that as, I call it spiritual arrogance when we have that. Not intentional, and don't take this bad, anyone out there, but you're telling God that his plan is wrong. When you say that, when you're trying to change the world or fix the world, and you're trying to stop people going through pain, you know, who's to say that pain isn't the thing that's going to transform them? You know, most of what I got was the reason I did all this was the extreme fucking insanity that I went through and extreme pain, and that made me finally surrender and open up to this stuff. So to say that, you know, you don't want them to have pain or you don't want them to go through what you went through, the reason you're here and you're listening to this is because of that pain. So to judge, you know, we call it, you know, good luck, bad luck. You don't know the whole story. You know, what seems to be painful, and that can often open people up and turn them into the greatest spiritual people. You know, from adversity comes great love. So that and it's, you know, I call it spiritual arrogance, because I'm judging when I want to fix something or heal the world or cause people not to have pain. I'm judging God, saying that there shouldn't be pain in the world, so he's fucked his plan up, and my plan's better than his, right? That's, you know, and we do that to take a little bit of fun about it. It's like, you know, but that's the problem with that. You know, you're judging and you're telling God or you're telling the universe that it's done this world the wrong way. But it comes from a good place. It comes from a loving, caring place. So that's why it's hard. None of us want anyone to suffer, but we don't know what that suffering is going to do. We don't know their path. We don't know all the lives they've had. They might look like they're hard done by in this life, or you know, or easy done by. We don't know all their lives, and we don't know everything. So that's just judging, right? And it's like, and it's hard because it comes from caring, comes from
of course,
comes from compassion, but it's just it's just the wrong way to deal with it. You just
As we say, good luck, bad luck. You don't know the whole story, right?
It's like, you know, from, you know, each of my accidents and that I had, you know, that's you know, some of them were pretty bad, and I was in a shit situation, but that's what opened me up to all of this. If they hadn't happened and nearly killed me several times and did kill me once, but then I wouldn't have opened up to all this stuff, because I didn't like any of this. So it's don't judge that, you know, that pain and that suffering is bad. You know, it's not nice, and you can acknowledge that it's not nice. But to try and fix it and try and help it, you don't know if you're actually helping or hindering their path.
Okay, where are we? Hey, Annabelle.
Hey, Annabelle.
How you going? She's like, return to sender the song, throwing some Elvis Presley dance moves.
So yeah, it's with the feelings.
We need to get John doing his quiff. Get your quiff going, bro.
Cool.
All
right. So what else we got?
Keep going. Joel. Hey, Joel. How are you, bro?
Hey, mate.
Never thought of it that way. Damn straight. Yeah, cool. Hey, Carla. Yeah. So, like, I mean, your comment earlier about, you know, the trauma that you had, and then you had a whole heap of growth out of that, right? You know, everyone else is the same, right?
Yeah. So if you try and stop people from suffering or going through pain, you know, maybe that's the only thing that's going to open them up and make them change. You know, that's like, and it's literally judging God and judging that, you know, we're not supposed to have pain, or the world's, you know, wrong. You know, it's like people judge all this global warming and stuff. It's like, you know, it's like, you know, I used to get on the whole Monsanto thing back in the 90s, and I used to buy organic and that, but because it went so bad and we went so toxic, you know, now you go to every supermarket and half of it is full with organic, you know. That's changing the world, and it's changing farming and that. So sometimes these adversities are needed, you know, the global warming and the plastic stuff. It's making people more conscious about the world, and, you know, maybe it's the collective consciousness actually needs that to make the change. Instead of focusing on the now, what's happening this day, this week, this year, try and look at the bigger picture and try and go, I don't know, it looks like it's crazy, it looks like it's bad, but hey, it's all God's plan. Maybe this is going to turn it into something good.
Okay. Angela, my 11-year-old tells me he sees out of his third eye. He said when he closes his eyes, he still sees around. Is this even possible?
Indeed, it's possible.
It is indeed possible.
It's more than possible. It's freaking freaky, right?
Yeah, but it's fun too. It's fun too.
It's fun. But
fun.
The first couple of times, freaky. You close your eyes and you can see as clearly. When the third eye opens, you close your eyes and you can see as clearly as. Maybe it's a bit darker, but it's literally, you can see the whole thing, you know, it's like...
The first time I started having that was in my bedroom. Like I'd go to bed at night and close my eyes and I could still see my room. Yeah, it's very cool. You should encourage it.
Yeah, so it's very, more than possible. And also, he can expand that and he can actually start to see the whole universe, right? And also ask him to also turn his third eye around and look inside himself. The whole universe exists inside yourself. So
that's a fun activity.
Ask him, say, can you flip when you're looking, can you flip it around and look inside? Because the whole universe, inside is the whole universe, and it's the, they say as above, so below. It's a reflection of the outside world. So all the problems we're seeing outside are actually problems we're being on the inside. So the inside is a macrocosm of the outside. So if you've got problems with the universe and you think there's problems, they're in you, but they're usually the problems in the way you're looking at things. Yeah. Not necessarily, you know, there's violent, if you hate violent people, you know, you might be violent towards your own emotions. Yeah. Letting you express your own emotions. So it's not necessarily that you'll be violent to anyone else, but your thoughts might be violent to your feelings.
He chats about it constantly and people's colors. Yeah, I'd be encouraging it. You know, I try to do it with my 5-year-old, my little daughter. You know, I tell her that we sort of talk with our minds and try to really encourage her to explore her talents and abilities, you know.
And people's colors are good, you know, the colors in the aura, they show you what the person's path is, you know. So mine's like an electric blue, my primary color. They do change and they change with your moods and that. We have a primary color. We also have some things that can be like sashes, which are like part of our work. But, you know, the blue color is the throat. It's about communication. So that's my primary path, is about communicating all this stuff. So, you know, if green's more of your color, then you've got the path of the heart. That's your primary thing that you're supposed to work on. So the colors are actually there to show us what our primary path is, and they relate to the chakras. So, I mean, they do change, and we have what I call a primary color, but we go through all the colors, and depending on our moods and our situations, we get other colors in the aura as well.
Okay. Jane's asking, how do we begin on this spiritual path?
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
So through adversity,
we've got 22 minutes left.
Through adversity, I was like, mine started a long time ago when I was 23, which is now 28 years ago. And, you know, I had a lot of deja vus, and I kept seeing I had 3 major accidents in 12 months, and I kept seeing the accidents or imagining them just before they happened, and they were random so-called accidents that I didn't cause, that, you know, cars that hit me on the motorbike and that, and it was scaring the shit out of me. And I was like, the deja vu, I didn't believe in anything back then, but I kept, you know, seeing the future. I'd have deja vus, and I'd remember I had the dream 2 years ago. And so, and because the accidents got worse, I just gone, fuck, I better do something about this, or the next accident will kill me properly, you know, instead of just half. And so, you know, again, adversity brings it about. Yeah. We call it crisis. You know, most people do not open up to this path. They say there's 3 major ways into a full spiritual path. One is through total devotion and love, and so that's devotion and everything is God. The other way is total emptiness, like Zenism, where the nothingness, the God is nothing, but not God is nothing. God is nothingness. So God is in the everything, God is in the nothing, or through crisis. And most of us, because we don't grow up, like in this country, particularly in the Western world, we don't have a really strong spiritual thing. So Zenism and Sufism are probably the 2 of the other ways, through devotion and through surrender and letting go. But most people don't do it until they feel like their life has ended. You know, my son, my eldest son, when he was 22, all it took for him was to go bankrupt, because he loved all his bling and stuff like that. So he went bankrupt and lost his car and everything, and that was enough for him to think his life was over. So he opened up to this for that. but there's usually a surrender point. You know, my big opening was the day I split up with my ex-wife and lost my kids and stuff like that. And that sort of really, I surrendered. And it's like, and then all of this stuff comes through surrender. So the more you can let go of your point of view, how you think the world should be, what you think is right or wrong, and let go of who you think you are, then that's when it opens and it just comes through. And it's like, but usually we need our lives to be fucking torn apart before we do that. Unfortunately, the more stubborn you are, like I was, the bigger the adversity will come.
Yeah.
So and this is again why we don't sort of judge pains and we don't judge the problems that people are going through. Some of them take a real lot of problems before they finally surrender and let go.
Yeah. Okay.
So I do have on the YouTube. I do have
few
videos called "That's My Story."
That's my story.
So I've got about half of my story on there. So it's quite an interesting little look. If you look at the YouTube link at the top,
go
on there and check out "That's My Story." I've got about 4 videos there talking about the spiritual path and how I came into it, and how how I opened up to it. So
okay, right. Jennifer, so I have days where all is aligning, right place, right time, meeting people I'm supposed to meet, etc. I can feel it. I know I'm in the right place. How can I access that more rather than just being random days?
Well, first of all, you can access that more by exactly what you just said. Just by asking that question and thinking about those times and focusing on what you do want.
Yeah.
So you've said the right question there. Just keep saying that.
Just keep asking.
How can I have that more? But don't judge the days when it doesn't, when everything sort of seems to block and everything else. Don't judge that, because we need that. Abraham Hicks calls it the contrast, right? We need that to send more desires, to send more of what we want. We've got to see what we don't want sometimes to know what we do want. But just by focusing on that, don't focus on how do I stop the bad days or how do I stop the unaligned days. Just keep saying, how do I get more of those days? And you're focusing on what you do want. I love the alignment. And, if I get out of alignment and everything seems to not be working, there's ways to deal with that. Generally, I say on those times, just stop. When nothing's working, just stop and do nothing. Just pull up and go, okay, just let go. Don't try and make it work. Just get back to what we call the neutral space.
Yeah.
Don't try and get back into the positive or the alignment, because then you're pushing against it and you'll keep the disalignment going. So, but yeah, just that question is perfect. How do I have more of those? What will it take? Stay in the question and keep focusing on what you'll do on. I love those days when, everything flows, and, and I'm okay with the times when it doesn't, because that'll annoy me enough and piss me off enough to keep focusing on what I do want.
Yeah. So, and also, be careful that if you find yourself getting annoyed that there are periods of time where it's not happening and you're wanting it to happen faster, then you're kind of telling God that you want it now, and that you won't work to divine timing, because sometimes spirit's got to line stuff up for you.
And sometimes it's trying to redirect you in a different direction, so it wants you to change direction, so it blocks on that level as well. So, but just accepting that it doesn't matter how good you get at this, you're always going to have some contrast, because it's going to contrast has to come in, or what we call the negative or the shit we don't like has to come in to to change our direction every now and then, or make us request more of what we do want.
And it's that saying of being happy in the ebbs, and then you'll be happy in the flows, because if you can't be happy in the ebbs, then you'll never be happy in the flows, right?
So it's like, just staying in the question, keep focusing on that. Don't try and stop the bad things, because if you try and stop the bad, if you're coming from that point of view of how do I get more of the good days, but really what you're feeling is you want to stop the bad days or the non-flowing days, then you're actually focusing on the non-flowing days. Just focus, go, wow, the flowing days are happening more and more. We call it the more and more tool. We say things that's happening more and more. This year I've done it, 50% of the time. Last year I was only doing it 40% of the time. So it is happening more. It is happening more, and acknowledge that, and that subconscious mind picks that up. Hey, it's happening. It happened 3 days in a row this time. Usually it only happens every second day. So just acknowledging that it's happening and thanking it and saying, I love, just keep focusing on what you love. Same as getting rid of addictions. This is another one. Don't, if you've got an addictive personality or addictive energy a lot, then use it as a positive. Focus on positive addictions. Get addicted to meditation. Get addicted to, being. Get addicted to deep breathing, and don't try and stop the bad ones. Start the good ones.
Get addicted to not hanging around the people that you don't want to hang around.
Get addicted to just we call it JOMO.
JOMO, the joy of missing out.
The joy of missing out instead of FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Fuck that.
The joy of missing out.
We go with JOMO.
Sometimes, it's a joy to miss out if you overdo things certain times. It's like, and you're hanging around the wrong sort of people. The joy of missing out on going out and socializing is because you're disconnecting from that sort of vibrational frequency.
Yeah. Okay, Carla's asked, how do you know if your physical pain is health issues or empath feelings?
That's the same tool.
Same tool.
It's like, so first of all, feel the physical pain, whatever the physical pain is. Say, is that mine or does that belong to me? And if it gets less, then you're picking up with someone else.
Yeah.
So if you got a sore knee, you say, is that mine? And if you class the pain as, say, a 7 out of 10, and it goes, even if it goes down to a 6.5 out of 10, you say return to sender, go away, piss off, whatever you want to say. Or not my problem is quite a good one for most people, empaths especially. Say, not my problem, not my issue. And then repeat that 5 or 6 times. Go back into the pain in the knee again and do it again. Do it 5 or 6 times. And you may get rid of 90% of it, and then you might find actually a little bit of it was yours. And you say, how did I create this, and how do I change it, and how do I destroy it and uncreate it? So that's a tool that you've got to work with. You got to practice it like anything else. It's like a muscle. It gets stronger with the more you use it. So it's that's and the physical pains, if they are yours, often then you see it as a message.
Yeah.
And it's like, so if it is yours, you say, thank you for the message. Even though I can't understand it, I'll start working with it. Thank you, intuition. Thank you, soul. Thank you, whoever you refer to. Thank you for the message. And even though I can't interpret it fully right now, I'll listen more and I'll try and work out how to interpret it. And the pain should dissipate, because all pain is a sign from the body. There's discomfort, which is not pain. But if there's pain, there's a blockage between the brain and the soul. The pain is caused by the neural pathways or the energy pathways hitting a resistance. So one pushing against and one pushing for. Whereas if you hurt yourself and you let go of, and you receive the message instantly and you let go of it, there'll be discomfort there. It'll be uncomfortable, but it won't be pain.
It won't be pain.
Especially the sharp pain. It's really a message that you're blocking something.
Yeah. I'm addicted to buying crystals too, Carla. I was drawing a labradorite last weekend and I bought a labradorite heart.
Yeah.
And I'm holding one right now.
Yeah, we go. We are. The crystals help, they help with grounding. They help with frequency. That's like everything's frequency, everything's vibration. So when you're holding crystals, when you're tuning into crystals, there's a frequency that like a message, if you want to call it a message. It's like each different music makes you feel different ways. Well, crystals are a lower vibration, like a more subtle vibration. And so by tuning in with one, and it's actually helping you to tune to that frequency and that message for what it is. Same as plants, same as seashells, same as, herbs and all sorts of things. So
okay. Philippa says, this is all very new to me and it's overwhelming some days. What's the best way to shield yourself when you need to? Firstly, I'd say get onto our YouTube site from the link above and just watch some of the tools videos. I think they'll really help you. Tool number 1, tool number 3. Shielding yourself is...
And, don't shield yourself.
Don't shield yourself,
but strengthen your energy. Right?
Yeah.
So what you really want to do, because when you shield yourself, you're resisting and you're pushing away. And it means that you're in fear and that you're vulnerable and you're a victim. So, but what you want to do is magnify your energy, increase your energy, open the crown chakra, and let your energy magnify, which will automatically shield you. But don't shield yourself, because then you're going into victim mentality. You're going into something can have power over you, and that becomes a problem and makes you more vulnerable. So instead of shielding myself, just let it go and actually go, how do I increase my energy? How do I increase my flow of energy so that I've got so much energy that everything just bounces off? So opening your crown chakra, imagining your crown chakra opening and the energy flowing down and filling you up and magnifying you, that automatically protects you. And not going into right or wrong, not going into good or bad. The negativity or that only exists if you believe in right or wrong, good and bad. It's created by man, it's not created by God. God only creates the positive. So fear is actually not real in the real. It's created by man. We create it as real and it affects us as real. But all it is, fear is just faith that's inverted. It's like, you know, it's positivity that's been turned upside down by our thoughts or our beliefs. So thinking that we're vulnerable, thinking that, you know, you're an infinite being, your soul is infinite, it's untouchable. So to think that you're vulnerable or that you're weak allows that fear to come in and to magnify.
Yeah, she said, I'm not in fear, I just can't control everyone's emotions.
No, you can't.
And you can't.
And you're not supposed to.
And you're not supposed to.
It's like, you know, you're not God.
You drive yourself mad trying to do that.
It's hard enough to control our own, you know. We are really powerful, infinite beings, and it's hard enough to work on our own, let alone trying to control everyone else's.
Yeah.
But using the tool number 3, are they my feels? Have a look on it, and it's like, just do that. So when you're feeling people's emotions, go, is that mine? And it'll lessen. When you say, is it mine? And it's not. If it's not, it'll get less. It won't go away completely necessarily. Sometimes it will. Sometimes you'll have to say it 5 or 6 times. You know. You know, I used to do it with alcohol when I used to drink, and it's like, on Friday afternoon, I'm like, oh, I really feel like a beer. I'm like, I don't even drink beer. What am I doing? It's like everyone coming home from work wanted beer, and then it's like, okay, is that mine? It's like, no, it's not. And so it's, you know, not mine. And turn to sender, go away. And yeah, I'd have to repeat that like 10, 20 times before it would go away fully. So, and it's the same with people's emotions. And it's not your problem to fix them. And it's not yours, even if they tell you you're the cause of it.
Yeah.
You're not. No one's the cause. Internally, we can control everything. Externally, we can't control hardly anything. But if we control it internally, we stop it inside, then it doesn't affect us on the outside.
Yeah.
And it often goes away.
Okay. JB Janine, hello again. I told you about the dizziness, the low blood pressure, the dry mouth, had blood tests, which they found high cholesterol. We spoke of the heart. So that was not communicating and speaking up?
Well, not communicating from the heart.
From the heart, yeah.
You know, you're probably communicating and speaking up, but you're speaking up from the mind or the emotions. The heart is more the unconditional love. Speaking from the heart is you saying what you need to say and what you know. So it's like, you know, I did it with Will, my son, who I think's on there at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, he would come in and, you know, I go, you know, what's up? And he goes, nothing. And I'm like, and I go, oh, okay then. And you know, and it was like, that wasn't what, and I'd let him sort of, you know, walk away, and then I'd get a heart arrhythmia. And it's like, and so then I would start to work out, I go, okay, what's up? And he goes, nothing. I said, no, there's something up because I can feel that your energy is out of whack, but you don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to accept that nothing's up. You don't have to tell me, and I'm just here to listen if you want to, but I know something's up, and that's okay if you don't want to tell me. And then that would stop it. And that was actually me speaking from my heart. When I would go, oh, okay then, and I'd go and believe him that nothing was up, then my heart arrhythmia, I wasn't actually speaking from my heart. And you know, there's so many different ways, you know, and saying what you need for you, you know, sorry, I can't help you. I'm working on myself at the moment. You know, it's like all these things are speaking from the heart. And high cholesterol, that's, you know, the blood and putting pressure on yourself. That's pressurizing yourself all of the time. High cholesterol is about, you know, trying to do too much for too many people. If we do it for ourselves, if we be the change, if we free ourselves from our own fear, then we very rarely have to do work for other people. You know, this is what I do here when I'm doing healings. Whenever I'm doing a healing with somebody, I just ask, is that in me? And how can I clear it in me? And then by clearing it in me, my frequency changes, and that frequency allows their frequency to match up, and it heals in them. I very rarely do direct healing on their issue without actually checking, do I have a similar issue, or do I have the same vibrational frequency in me? Help me to let go of that, and help me to clear that. And then just by my energy changing, that makes a space for theirs to match up and clear. So instead of doing things for people, trying to do it for yourself. You know, if you want people to relax more yourself.
Relax.
Sit back. So yeah, so these are, you know, it comes down mostly that we're all trying to do things for each other instead of just do it for ourselves and be the change. You know, that's what everyone says, this thing, be the change, but you know, be the change. It takes work and takes effort. You've got to cut off from trying to, you know, change everyone and change everything. It's like, and you got to go through that stage of change of actually you doing everything that you want to see change in the world. You've got to do it inside of you. You know, if you don't want, you know, if you don't want garbage, if you don't like rubbish, you know, you got to get rid of the rubbish out of your mind, out of litter. If you, that was one of John's ones early in the week.
Litter annoyed me.
Litter annoyed him early in the week, and he's like, oh, he had litter in his emotions. His emotions had old litter in it, and so he started getting rid of the litter out of his emotions, and he didn't notice it anymore. So, you know,
yes, we are in Melbourne, Carl.
Yes, yeah, we're in Melbourne. We're in Docklands in the city.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will hopefully soon be running some classes. But if you want any healings or any readings face-to-face, we can do them live in Melbourne.
Yep.
Otherwise, we do them on Zoom. I can do distant healing or distant reading as well.
Yep.
But yeah, you can contact us on the Facebook or on the website, which the links are above. But yeah, we are in Melbourne, and yeah, we have got a few things planned on coming up soon for classes and stuff like that.
Yeah. So Carla's asking, if you fear something for, say, like something like fertility, if you're fearing fertility, can you then cause yourself to have fertility issues?
Of course, you're fearing it. Yeah, if you focus on the problem, you know, if fear will cause you to have for things to come just as fast as faith will. If you focus on what you don't want, it'll come to you as fast as if you focus on what you do want.
Yeah.
So if you keep fearing something and you keep buying into, you know, I'm going to get breast cancer, you can create it. Like the subconscious mind picks that fear up and just drives you. Energy goes, Einstein said, energy goes where thought flows. So if you're thinking about what you don't want, you're picturing it. So the subconscious mind picks up the picture of infertility, and, you know, you do that for long enough and frequently enough, and that will just start, you know, depending on how long you do it for, will start to manifest, you know. So, and again, this is one of our other tools. Tool number 4, focus on what you do want. It's like, so if you're focusing on infertility or whatever, don't worry about that. Just ask yourself, what's the opposite? Fertility. I'm fertile, and, you know, the world's fertile. Look how much fertility there is in the ocean. Look how much there is in the bush. The universe is fertile. Just focus on all the fertility around everywhere, and then just keep focusing on fertility. If you can't focus on it in yourself, focus on it everywhere else. Focus on it in nature. Look at a road that hasn't been used for a while. Look how fertile the nature is. It'll push trees up through concrete roads in no time. And, you know, there's always growth. There's always abundance. Focus on the growth. Focus on the change. You know, just keep thinking about that. Because if you focus on what you don't want, you will fear it or get worried about it. You draw it to yourself just because you're picturing it. Subconscious mind just goes to whatever we picture, and our feelings and our emotions make pictures in our subconscious mind too. So it's like, but don't worry, if you are fearing, just ask yourself, what's the opposite of that fear? That's what I don't want. What do I want? And so it's like, just turn around, and that tool is just amazing sometimes. Like literally, you can turn financial situations around in 5 minutes just by doing that.
Yep.
Are you worried about not having money to do this? So what I want enough money to do that and feel easy and not worry about it and not get stressed. I want enough money to do it happily and enjoy it, right? And, you know, you only need to do that 2 times. If you've been worrying about it for a week, you can do that 2-3 times for 5 minutes, and it can change the whole situation. Some door that you didn't see will open up to bring more money in.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that was a good session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And bless. And we'll see you next week.
Same time.
Anyone wants
place.
any readings, personal messages on the BQuest site,
or I just dropped the link there for the book now. If you're having trouble clicking on it, maybe just try and copy and paste it.
Yep. And we'll message us on Facebook, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome. Later.